everybody, Steven here, playing Hellblade Senua Sacrifice in VR. So I've already played this game. There's actually videos early on that I did on this channel. Is actually my playthrough of this game, and it's one of my all-time favorite games. It's when people say that like video games aren't art, like this is one of the games that I point to, because this is just, in my opinion, the epitome of answering that question, which is it absolutely is. And for those that don't know, this is dealing with Psychosis. This is a very extreme game, and to play it in VR makes it even more extreme. Now, I played on the original Rift, but it was harder to do. I didn't get far because of the screen door effect. It really took me out of the experience, and it just made me nauseous. So far I did do a test on this, and it looks way better. So we're going to try and do a playthrough. I don't know how far through the game I'll get. I'd like to play the whole thing slowly over time, but it is a very extreme game, and with the headphones being in, it just might be something that I can't handle a ton of. So we'll break it down into smaller chunks. I can tell you the beginning of the game is slow, but this game is amazing. Even if you don't play it in VR, Steam, PC, Xbox, PlayStation, or whatever you can get it on, definitely play this game. And we're going to go ahead and play through this. Opening sequence is, like I said, it's a little bit slower. And we're going to get to one pivotal stopping point. So this is almost like just the overall intro to this. Very cinematic. This has to do with like Norse mythology.
Hello. Who are you? Doesn't matter. Welcome. You're safe with me. I'll be right here, nice and close, so I can speak without alerting the others. Let me tell you about Senua. Now, her story has already come to an end, but now it begins anew.
What's happening? It's breathing. The head. It's breathing. It's breathing. He knows she's getting closer. He can feel her coming closer. She's getting closer. They're watching. The head.
They're watching.
They're watching.
This is a journey deep into darkness.
They're watching.
There will be no more stories after this one.
What is she doing? Why is she doing this? They're watching. Why doesn't she turn coming? She's doing this for him. She wants to rescue him. He's already dead.
Feel you coming.
So those are the voices in her head. Like I said, she has psychosis, so...
Oh, how rude of me. I never told you of the others. You hear them too, right? They've been around ever since the tragedy. Well, that's not quite true. Some are old, some are new, but they've changed. I think the darkness changed them, just like it changed her.
Can you see them? Over there. Why isn't she looking? Why aren't you looking? He's in Helheim.
Look, up ahead. You see it too?
You promised you came.
Yes. It is real after all. She's finally arrived in the land of mist and fog. The place the Northmen call Hell.
Turn back. Go back. Go back.
These voices are going to be pivotal, though, to warning her in combat, which is cool.
It's not safe.
The voices are intense. They tried to make this so it's like you feel like you have psychosis, so it's one of those things that's better when you have the headset on. Like I said, it can also make it very, very intense. Unique combat system as well.
The drowned, the sick, the slain. Here they lie, rotting in the fields and rivers of hell. But the dead don't always lie still here. This is not a place of rest.
I can't do this. Go back. Go back. see them, they're going to do that to you.
They're watching.
Stop.
Can you feel them watching? They're watching her. They're watching her.
It's crazy how much better this looks on the Rift S.
Close to the darkness.
And it's playable now, which is the bigger thing. But yeah, the combat system is unique. We'll also see as we get ahead how they deal with death in this game is very unique.
I can tell you. She's afraid. Wouldn't you be? You'd think she would get used to it by now after so many years. But the darkness, it just builds onto itself, growing stronger, towering over her. You might try and ignore it, turn away. But it's always there, just out of sight, where you're most vulnerable. It's like it knows that just enough light is all you need to see its suffocating power.
Jeez.
They can feel you.
You might think she's brave to go on this journey on her own, but it isn't bravery that drives her. Bravery only means something to those afraid of death. Senua's fear runs far, far deeper.
We're going to go up to this stone here in a second too, and it'll give us background on the Norse mythology. Motion capture is phenomenal on this, but
What is she leaving behind? I know what she's thinking. I hear her thoughts. It's not too late to get into the boat and go back. No one will judge her. No one will ever know. Oh, she heard us. There's no going back.
You can't do it.
Senua pushes away a world that conspired to cause so much suffering. There's nothing to go back to, and worse to look forward to. Why don't you join us? Maybe you too have a part to play in this story.
whew. So yeah, these stones will actually give you more info on the Norse mythology.
Use
So
your eyes.
Do not forget my stories, Senua. Because your darkness comes from hell, and your fate lies there. They say the burning of a corpse will take you straight to Hela's gate, but gods and the living will follow this path. You must leave the Isles of Orkney across the eastern sea and find a road that leads north and down through deep, dark valleys. After 9 nights of riding, you will follow a great river and will find a bridge covered in gold. The path to Helheim goes from there, across the River of Knives that flows from the dark world of Niflheim.
Alright, so we can't run away from those because the problem is it'll actually drift and then you eventually won't hear it. So you will see that when we come across those, I just kind of gotta just hang out there. You can change the scale of this also, which is interesting. Meaning I could be like tabletop view, or crazy close, or low or higher. Now this is the darkness that consumes her. which is already intense in game, let alone this.
Coming. Yearns for life. Hungers for it. Like a pack of wolves on a hunt. But she's not stopping. Not this time.
Ooh.
Can you see it?
The land of mist and fog.
He's in there.
The old fool was right.
You see it?
What was it he said? The river of knives across which lies the halls of hell. The place they call Helheim.
He's lost. He's lost.
Where are you? I hear you.
He's there, you know it.
There's no doubt about
He's
it.
lost.
The source of the darkness is in Helheim,
They're calling
and the goddess Hela holds his soul there. Her dear beloved, Dillian.
Alright, so that is her lover's head that she's taking back to his body in hell, which is Hela here. Man, that looks so much better than on the original. Like, this is just one of the coolest looking scenes in the game. I mean, it's going to look better on just a regular PC, but
What is she doing?
being here
Why
is
she
crazy.
doing this? Why doesn't she turn back? She's
That
doing
sense of
this
scale.
again. She wants to rescue him. He's already dead.
That looks amazing.
His soul's
The bridge to Helheim.
Where are we? She wants to see.
I forget its name.
She wants his soul to be
She forgets too. But she does remember that only the dead may cross it. That part wasn't so easy to forget.
She'll never make it.
The old fool said there was a hidden path up to it. Let's see, shall we?
So just to change this really quick so I could show everybody. Tabletop. Which, that looks crazy, right? It's harder to see her, so the focal point of her is, I have to like bring my head way, way back. I almost have to go here. Otherwise, I'm so close I can't really see what she's doing. So we have that. Oops. Giant. Which, in terms of getting a better view of her, is awesome. And it makes it look, at least for her character model, closer to the PC version, but it's also crazy disorienting. I can also change an offset if I need to, horizontal or vertical, to change how close or far I am to her.
The Northmen speak of 9 worlds. The world of men they call Midgard. Sky gods dwell in Asgard. The gods of earth, harvest, wind, and sea dwell in Vanaheim. The good elves dwell in Alfheim. The evil ones dwell in Svartalfheim. The mountain giants dwell in Jotunheim. The fire giants dwell in Muspelheim. Niflheim is the world of ice and darkness. Only the dead dwell in Helheim, and that is where you must travel.
So you'll hear the hints. So they're saying she needs to climb up here. So you'll get the hints.
That's the way.
You'll also hear them, like right there. encouraging her, but also doubting her. So they worked with, you saw it at the beginning there, that mental health person to try to replicate what it's like to have psychosis as best they could. All right.
This isn't right. You have to turn back. Are you scared? You should be scared.
They'll also warn you in combat, like I mentioned.
Just dress down. Dress down. Why did she do that? She shouldn't have done it. She can't go back now.
No, this is it. The hidden path.
We're gonna see her friend that talks to her.
He's going to hurt you. It's dangerous.
Don't kill me. I'm not one of them. Don't listen. I was just hiding. I find I live longer that way. Don't listen. I'll never let the bastards catch me again. Never! Wait. Who are you? It's just a memory.
Ruth? Is that you?
For my tales of the Northmen, they call me Druth. A liar.
He's lost.
An old fool. Druth is my truth.
It's good to see you again. You kept your vow.
Guide you in this life and the next. I will tell you my stories of hell, if I may walk with you.
Tell me your stories again, old friend. I'm listening.
The runes seal the gates to hell. Focus your inner eye, and you too will see what's hidden in plain sight.
I can
So
see one.
you see what the symbol is. We must find the symbol then here,
Find one like it to open the gate.
Take a closer look, Senua.
right there.
It's near. Focus, and you will find. Look towards the gate, and the gate will open.
The gate is open. Go through the gate.
Go through it. It's dangerous. Follow it.
It worked!
Where will it take you? It's unsafe.
I spent 6 years enslaved in hell, but I watched the Northmen, learnt their ways.
I know you did.
You listened when everyone else laughed. My people paid a heavy price. Carry my stories with you, and together we will make the Northmen feel our fury.
It's a rough angle to try and get her to balance across this. When I first played the game, I think I fell a couple times on this, by the way.
She once tried to make them go away. Pretend they weren't real. But what good is that?
Oh, this one appears on the
We are always here.
Okay. Okay, here we go.
I guess it's the same with heights. You can stand on the edge, pretend it's going to be okay. But you know that death is near, waiting for you to make that little slip. You can't just wish things away.
Yeah, it's bananas. That's crazy.
She's going to be just another
Oh,
body.
nope. Okay. Ooh.
The world of the dead is ruled by the giantess, Hela, daughter of Loki. The gods feared her bloodline, bad on her mother's side and yet much worse on her father's. So, as a child, the All-Father cast her down into Helheim and gave her power over those who die of sickness, age, hardship, and self-slaughter. In all of the 9 worlds, only Hela can resurrect the dead. To Hela, your Dillion was sacrificed, and with her you must bargain.
So I was off. You can just look at them and walk off. There's certain ones that I remember it would like trail off, so you'd have to stay close. Alright, so this is pivotal scene. And we'll do this one and then we'll finish this. So this is kind of an intro to the game. After this game picks up and it is a puzzle solving game. Very, very intense. A lot of crazy battles.
Stay back. Look at it. You have to open it.
The gate to Helheim divides the living from the dead. Is that the face of Hela herself? The half-rotten goddess that rules over Helheim. Whatever horrors lie behind that door, she must find him. Shh. Someone's here.
Oh, you could see the raindrops or whatever is in the air. That's cool. Oh, nope. I remember this part, but I can turn around and look at it, which is a crazy part. She's about to get right in our face, though.
You took him from me. I beg you, let him go. I'll give you what you want. I won't resist anymore. Just give him back.
Alright, here we go. First battle. These guys look crazy.
Surprise him!
So you get perfect blocks and kind of open these guys up. Later this becomes frustrating. Oh. You can hear them talking, right? I can't stop these guys. The point here is that I'm supposed to.
A vision of what's to come. Poor Senua. The darkness does not bargain. It does not reason. It is wrought. And now it has taken hold. It will spread towards her head, the seat of the soul, until there is nothing left of her. All of her suffering will have been for nothing. It's just a matter of time.
So what happens is that right there, the dark rot will grow each time you fail, and then eventually, like, If it reaches your head, it's over. You got to start all the way over. There's a couple intense parts in the game that I remember dying like 4 or 5 times. I don't know the exact number that you can die, but like getting so frustrated because I knew I was on the verge of like the game being over.
The hardest battles are fought in the mind. That is what Dillian taught her. With every defeat, the dark rot will grow and soon it will take her soul. But for now, at least, she still has control of her mind.
Her headpiece looks really cool.
And she will fulfill her vow. Whatever the cost.
He's not right.
Listen to me, Senua. The goddess Hela lies behind the gate to Helheim. To open the gate, you must first face the gods that guard it. The god of fire, Zurt, and the god of illusion, Valravan. Spill their blood to open the gate to Helheim and enter the land of the dead.
Alright, so that is the next part. These are
It
two...
won't open.
How will she get through?
I mean, it's a puzzle to get to them, but they're intense battles when you actually
She has to
fight
challenge the
these
She has
two
to fight
gods.
2 gods first.
Two gods.
Two gods.
It's hard to talk with these voices in my head.
One of them will kill her, I know.
So you'll
going to
hear
die.
them talking throughout the
Which one
whole
will
game.
she challenge first?
Be very careful, Senua.
Choose
When
a
you're
gate,
battling,
Senua.
the voices will doubt her,
She's too scared.
which is difficult, and a lot of times they'll give you advice. They'll tell you, look out, and they'll warn you of certain things, which is really cool. So this is where we're going to end this video. It gets more intense from here. It's hard to say like a fast-paced game. It's not necessarily that. It's just so immersive. To me, it's like playing through a Netflix series, like a very good 8 to 10 episode Netflix series, except you're a part of it. So that is it, everybody. If you like the video, hit the like button for me. If you want to continue to follow along with all of my content, hit the subscribe button for me. Hopefully I'll have the next video out here in the next week for you guys with this one. Like I said, I'm curious to see as I progress forward through this as well, because there's certain areas that I know were difficult just to play on the regular screen. I don't know how well that's going to translate to the VR headset, in not only from a gameplay standpoint, but just somewhere so intense that I'm curious to see how well I handle it. So like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. Check back soon for more videos.